Hey everyone, we are back for Sweetrobin's fanfiction project. The prologue came out really well. I couldn't be more happy with it, especially considering how difficult the task was. With a new character, we had to establish themes and plot lines for the whole book, and I think we did our job. So thank you to everyone, the contributors, the editors, the readers. And now it's time for our reward, Alayne II. So Alayne II is going to be really fun. Essentially, this is a chapter where best laid plans will completely fall apart. Some hilariously, some violently. It's a story of hijinks. We're looking for something between 4,000 and 7,000 words, with a deadline of August 5th. So, Alayne II will take place during the Winged Knight Tourney. This is the tourney to determine who Sweetrobin's 8 winged knights will be, that is, Littlefinger's 8 hostages. Timing-wise, the first day of the tournament is also the first day of winter. So the Winged Knight Tourney will be a 3-day tournament. It's 64 competitors in single elimination to get to 8. And the structure of the chapter should be 3 days, 3 acts. We need to set up expectations on what will happen, and then have plenty of curveballs to lead to a different but fitting ending for the tourney. Please look to the Hands Tourney in A Game of Thrones and the tourney at Ashford in the Hedge Knight for atmosphere on jousting. Also keep in mind the smug, scheming way Littlefinger talks in the Sansa chapters. Additionally, when writing Sansa, remember that her transformation to Alayne is complete. In her mind, she is Alayne, Littlefinger's bastard, and Sweetrobin is her little lord. We want next to no thinking of her life as Sansa. So at the beginning of the first day, there will be 64 competitors. My Prepping for Winter series, Alayne Part 9, goes into who many of these competitors are. Please check it out. Not to toot my own horn, but I think Prepping for Winter Alayne is one of my better analyses. So day 1 of the tourney will be a long day of tilts. Even supposing 15 minutes for each matchup, 32 matches would take 8 hours, so it might make sense for there to be 2 simultaneous matchups going on at once. Whatever you decide, at the end of the day, 32 will be continuing on. It's important that prior to the tourney beginning, Littlefinger speak with Sansa at some point about his plan, as we needed to establish expectations. Littlefinger is hoping to secure hostages with the Winged Knights, most importantly Harry the Heir. And of course, Littlefinger has fixed the lists. At some point, you may also want to reveal Littlefinger's purpose with the Baratheon tapestries. With Maya Stone walking around, every lord in the Vale will see what a Baratheon looks like, nothing like the bastard Tommen. Also, what Littlefinger has said previously about the Lord's Declarant should be kept in mind. Redfort and Waynwood are old. One or both of them may die. Gilwood Hunter will be murdered by his brothers, most likely by young Harlan, who arranged Lord Eon's death. In for a penny, in for a stag, I always say. Belmore is corrupt and can be bought. Templeton I shall befriend. Bronzeon Royce will continue to be hostile, I fear, but so long as he stands alone, he is not so much a threat. So obviously Littlefinger wants to secure Harry the Heir as a winged knight, but it would also be fun for him to have some plans with the other houses. To win House Redfort, I see Littlefinger's plan to be securing Jon Redfort, because, you know, his name is Jon and the White Raven can play a role. Michael Redfort is already supposed to win one of the spots. Where 2 sons go, the rest will follow, will be Littlefinger's logic. Littlefinger's crony, Sir Morgoth, is an excellent jouster, and will likely face Sir Jon on the 3rd day. To win over House Waynwood, I see Littlefinger trying to get Roland Waynwood, Anya's grandson. Littlefinger's crony, Sir Lothar, is an excellent jouster, and will likely face Sir Roland on the final day. With House Hunter, I see Littlefinger having the brothers Eustace and Harlan eventually face off against each other in the lists in hope that Harlan kills Eustace, or at minimum creates hostility. If Eustace dies, Harlan then only has to deal with the eldest Gilwood to be Lord, and then the Lord of Longbow Hall will be among Sweetrobin's knights. Littlefinger will say that despite Harry's low ability in jousting, he will most certainly advance as he first faces off against Wallace Waynwood. On the morrow, he will face off against the winner of a tilt between Sir Byron and Sir Shadrick, the winner being irrelevant as both are bought and paid for by Littlefinger, and either will throw their tilt against Harry. On the final day, Harry will likely face the very formidable Sir Lyn Corbray, Littlefinger's public enemy but secret ally. He is certain Lyn will advance to the final round as he faces off against Sir Ossifer Lips today, and the winner of a tilt between the youngest Sunderland and a green and clumsy other Shet. By the way, we want lots of mocking of the Sunderlands by various people, calling them fishmen, whatever good fish-related jokes you can come up with. If one has more ideas for Littlefinger's scheming, please include them, and if you'd like to change things around, you can, but keep in mind, all plans must later fail. Because the Sunderlands are not likely to win and the youngest is very handsome, Sansa decides to give her favor to the youngest Sunderland. I haven't come up with the names for the Sunderlands, but I think at least one should be named Daemon, as they were big Blackfyre supporters, but Daemon is common enough that it doesn't sound alarms. By the way, it might be fun to have a mystery knight in the tournament. I have no idea who would be a good choice. Maybe Aegon Bloodborne Frey, if he isn't already Targon half-wild. Another idea is Steffon Frey, a half-hardying who may eventually have a claim to the twins. In the middle of the tourney, Maester Coleman should present the White Raven, which many will declare a good omen as the beast looks like the White Hawk of House Arryn. However, the Raven should suddenly speak the words "Jon" and "Beware" within earshot of Jon Redfort, giving him a chill. The first day of jousting goes mostly according to Littlefinger's plan. Harry Hardying advances, Roland Waynwood advances, the Hunters advance. However, the very distracted Jon Redfort falls to the eldest Sunderland. Littlefinger should not be fazed by this, it's a small hiccup, and Michael Redfort is still likely to win. During the evening feast, Sansa should stumble into a conversation between Maester Coleman and Maester Williman, the Maester from House Hunter. Williman, by the way, is a Frey, and it's important that he's here. The Maesters will be discussing the White Raven, Daenerys, and dragons. On the second day of the tourney, the 32 will dwindle to 16. Although Harry will defeat Sir Morgoth as expected, nearly everything else will go wrong. In a rather enormous upset, the youngest Sunderland will defeat Sir Lyn, and he will be furious. Harlan Hunter will fall as well, his saddle too loose on his horse for some reason, meaning he will not face his brother Eustace in the final round. Also, for some reason, Maya Stone will seat herself in Lothar Bruin's line of sight for his joust, and he will fall as well. Littlefinger will try to cope with the results, though his worry will show a little. He says that Harry will face the Green Sunderland boy in the final round, and is still likely to win, and perhaps he'll be able to secure Michael Redfort, Roland Waynwood, if they win on their own, and perhaps Eustace Hunter, though Sansa wonders what good Eustace Hunter would do, as he's currently feuding with Lord Gilwood. After the day of tilts, a Black Raven will arrive, letting everyone know that Kevan Lannister is dead and Mace Tyrell rules his hand. From Harrenhal, there is other big news. Bonifer Hasty, the Castellan, has declared for Aegon Targaryen and declared himself Lord of Harrenhal. Additionally, Aegon Targaryen himself is moving on Storm's End. Littlefinger will try to laugh off all of these messages, but is clearly worried. Whispers will go around the tourney and everyone will wonder who they should support, Aegon or the Crown. Also, everyone should note that Littlefinger is no longer a great lord, and the Crown will not lift a finger for Harrenhal as long as Stannis and now Aegon Targaryen threaten their rule. Some worry Littlefinger will cling to power in the Vale and never leave for the Riverlands. Then people get into a talk about House Frey. With the Crown occupied, it will likely be House Frey who will try to retake Harrenhal from Hasty, but like Riverrun and Derry, they are unlikely to give the castle up. They would wait to see who would win, Mace Tyrell or Aegon Targaryen, bend their knee to them, with the title Lord Paramount of the Trident as a bargaining chip. But then people will wonder which Freys will take Harrenhal. The kin of Gatehouse Amy, Sandor and Cynthia's cousin, lies closest to Harrenhal, but they lack the army. It is Emmon Frey at Riverrun who is married to Gemma Lannister. With Kevan dead, Cersei in jail, she now likely controls Casterly Rock as Kevan's heir Lancel has forsaken his claims, and Martin is a mere boy. Emmon and Gemma will likely take Harrenhal and claim it for their grandson Willem, and then they will likely force Gatehouse Amy to marry Martin Lannister and take Derry as well. The Freys who are not close kin to Emmon will likely find themselves homeless. Harry will approach Sansa at some point in the evening, and like Marillion, will try to sexually assault Sansa. Sweetrobin, though, will interrupt them. Sweetrobin will tell Sansa later that if they marry, no one will ever hurt her. Sansa protests and says that she is a bastard, and so Sweetrobin declares her not a bastard. But Sansa reminds him that only kings can remove the taint of bastardy. On the third day of the tourney, the 16 will become 8. The gossip of the castle is that Michael Redfort has been found abed with Maya Stone. Also, Miranda needs to take Sansa aside and explain to her that her father was responsible for cleaning up Lady Lysa's remains, and that they found 3 shoes, 2 of Lady Lysa's, and 1 stray. Miranda had Carrot check Alayne's room when they left the Eyrie, and Carrot found its mate. Miranda knows that Alayne is Sansa, and has the proof that she pushed her aunt out the moon door. Also, Miranda should point out that many already are commenting on the fact that Alayne is the spitting image of Lady Lysa. What Miranda wants, though, is for Sansa to leave. Miranda grants her mercy. She does not care where Sansa goes, but not the Vale, and Littlefinger is to go with her. Sweetrobin will fall under the care of her father Nestor, and when Harry joins the Winged Knights, he will be bound to the Gates of the Moon. It's only a matter of time before her father arranges a marriage between her and Harry. Alayne on the outside will play it cool, saying that she doesn't know what Miranda is talking about, but on the inside she'll be reeling. If there is any time for Sansa to think she's Sansa, it's during this time. The jousting will begin, Eustace Hunter will win, as will the two elder Sunderland brothers. Choose who you like to round out the Brotherhood of the Winged Knights. Roland Wainwood will lose, as will Michael Redfort, him being distracted after being found with Maya. The final night is to be determined in the tilt between Harry and the youngest Sunderland. As Sweetrobin watches intently, the youngest Sunderland will impale Harry the Heir in the crotch, killing him. The death of Harry will stun everyone, Littlefinger will look lost. Then, in a final turn, a hooded man will arrive in the Vale. It's the Blackfish. He says that Edmure Tully has been dispossessed of Riverrun, and now the castle is being held by Emmon Frey. However, Brynden figures if Edmure is dispossessed, the castle should fall to his nephew, Lord Robert. He urges the Lords of the Vale to take back the castle for their lord. Everyone will look at Brynden Tully like he's mad, but then Donal Wainwood will correct the Blackfish. You mean that Riverrun should be taken for their king. And then Sir Donal, who is a good friend of the Blackfish, who Sandor Frey squires for, will have a speech justifying their march on Derry for Sandor Frey, Harrenhal for Littlefinger, and Riverrun for Robert. Maester Williman will whisper to Gilwood Hunter, and the two will kneel. Sir Eustace, the three Sunderlands, and the rest of the Winged Knights will kneel. Then the Blackfish and the other Wainwoods. A huge smile will erupt on Littlefinger's face, and he will kneel. Then everyone else. And that's it. Again, nothing is set in stone. If you have other ideas, please include them. I know this seems like a lot to fit into a chapter, but I think we should be able to manage. Anyway, good luck with writing, thank you, and we'll see you next time.